What's up, everybody, and welcome to Real Estate Agent Rehab, episode 19, where we take a deep dive into the real estate industry and help you get the coaching you need and related to your real estate business. My name is Amir Al-Khayat with my co-host
Vance, Mizzi. Welcome to the show, everybody.
So today we're going to talk about something that's very essential for real estate agents, right?
Yeah, we're going to talk about the personal branding and how you set that up. Our focus today on this episode is going to be developing a strong, memorable image that people can look back on and understand who you are and what you're all about.
And that's right, Vance. And personal branding is very important, and it's more than just a logo on a business card. It's how you present yourself to your clients, to the public, and to the industry as a whole. And you definitely want to look at what sets you apart from your competition, right? What makes you different?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And it's funny. We went over this the other day in class when we were talking about scripts and dialogues, and I went into this whole idea of scripting being everything about you. Mm-hmm. Okay, and not only the words that you say, but who you are. Okay, the clothes you wear, the watches you wear, the jewelry you wear, the cars you drive, everything about you, and it's your personal brand. Mm-hmm. How you show up. Do you choose to show up dressed every day, or can you go casual? Doesn't matter. We're not putting ideals on it. What I want to do is have you understand that's who you are authentically. And that is part of your personal brand and your scripting. Yeah. So as people see you, they understand what you're talking about.
You're absolutely right. And on today's episode, we want to touch on some practical tips to help you create your brand and create that strong personal identity that's going to set you aside from the competition, because it's a very competitive market in real estate.
It's a great point. Amir, obviously, once you've defined your brand, which you have a brand,
yeah, right? Yes, I do.
You have a personal brand that you feel very strongly about, and I've seen, you get photos done that represent it. Mm-hmm. I do the same. And let me ask you, go a little bit off script. Did you design your personal brand, or did you step into your personal brand? Did you realize it was who you were, or did you actually take a step and say, this is who I want it to be, and start moving towards that?
That's a good question, because I felt like for my own personal brand, I had an idea of what my image what I wanted my image to be and how I want to be portrayed by the public. And I have my own personal hobbies and things that I like and things that I'm into, and I wanted to integrate those things together to create my own personal brand. So I think it kind of went both ways. It kind of naturally flowed into this, but it was based on the things that I'm into and the type of person that I am related to business and in my personal life. So
okay,
it just kind of morphed into,
So it flowed authentically.
It did.
You didn't hire watch this. You didn't hire a designer to design your personal brand. You knew who that was. Mm-hmm. And you can bring that personal brand to a designer and tell them to now build you a logo around that.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of where I go with that. And understanding who you are to be that authentic person, that when you bring it out, it's showing something a little different than what a design team decided you should look like or act like or feel like. So think about that as you're putting things together. And then what you want to do is you want to create it to be consistent across all manners. Okay. One thing I know, if you log into your site, we know you're into cars. Okay. You got your family, the house, the company, that's you.
Yep.
All right. And people understand that, and that's who they kind of gravitate towards. Myself, I have a completely different set of values on that, but it's the same thing. It's my brand. You go on and you see what's going on across all boards. And that's the most important thing that we want to hit on today.
Another thing you want to, take into consideration is what are the colors, the logos, the scheme, and your brand identity and how that comes across and the consistency of that to make it memorable to where people can trigger. I mean, for example, like my company logo, the West Shores logo, people see that now. I mean, we've been in business for almost 9 years or 10 years. They automatically know, okay, that's West Shores Realty when they see that specific logo. And so that's part of our marketing and branding. And as we've been consistent with it from day one, have colors changed and little things tweaked here and there as time has progressed. We've kind of, graduated and morphed into where we are today. but the consistency has been there, and that's where brand recognition comes into place, and people will always remember you by that, right?
Yeah, something that we should talk about a little bit in colors. And our logo, obviously, it's blue and white, or blue and gray, or black and white, or light blue and white. And where I go with that is the logo stays the same. Obviously, you want your colors to be there, but you want to be able to identify your logo, whether or not it is in color or not. Because printers get colors wrong. You don't want one specific thing to identify. You want people to see it. And the best scenario I ever heard about, I was reading an old article by Matt Groening, the Simpsons creator. And he was talking about logos and branding. And he said the number one way to brand something is if you see the hologram of it, not the hologram, but the outline of it, and you know what it is. Okay, and the West Shores logo, you see it. It's half a yin yang. It's a house. But you know what it is. You see it and you know it right away. Same thing. Think about any Simpsons character. If you see the outline of any of them, you know who they are. They've been around that long, so it's that an idea that people gravitate towards, and it's a visual thing.
And with that said, you constantly have to have that consistency. But you also have to find ways to stay relevant and to stay top of mind when it comes to your clients and to your peer group in the industry. And so, what are some ways that you think that an agent can accomplish this?
I think the best thing that you can do, again, we're talking about going across all platforms, is consistent messages. Okay, and everybody is tuning into the news and everything and all these different ideas, and what they're getting is pessimism, and they're getting it drilled down their throat of everything is negative. And what I tell my agents who I work with and I coach with is, and what I do is, if you can turn around and look from the optimistic side of things, look at the other side of things and show another side in your postings and your information that you're putting out there. The world isn't a bad place. Interest rates are high, but home prices theoretically are low. Okay, so maybe you want to start talking about that and showing the good in what's going on right now, because just talking about everything that's negative in the world is not going to get us followers. It's not going to get us people looking and saying, oh, I need to work with that person. So it's that idea of building that, and also it's in your channels. We have an opportunity to program our channels. Right, we're TV programmers. Right, if you watch CBS or Fox or NBC, you see a different idea of programming. And I urge you to think about this. What does your TV station look like? What does your program say? Is it talking about the industry's really hard? Is it talking about the industry doing well? Like, are you a beacon of light? Okay.
Well, let me ask you this question. So, I'm a brand new agent, I'm coaching with you or mentoring with you. So how do I get started in my own personal branding? What is step one with getting personal branding going?
First thing is you want to just outline your interests. See what interests you, and how does what you did currently do and what you're interested in pertain and lend itself to the real estate market. So, for instance, I was a financial planner before I was a real estate agent. And part of my personal brand is the fact that I'm a financial planner. I understand your home is one of your largest single investments, and I understand how that works in the investment world. And I want to work with you to help you maximize your investment. Okay, so from you, well, let's just use you for a second. You were a used car salesman. Right, used car manager.
I was a used car manager, new car manager. So I worked in the automotive industry, managing big car dealerships.
Right. So you worked through all these. So you have an eye for detail. You see things from the 3,000-foot view. Right. You can see what's going on, and you understand how all the moving parts work. And when people hire you, they hire you to put things in place and make it work. So that's part of your brand.
So once you kind of identify, your interests, and I would say, maybe creating some sort of bio about yourself.
Of
Obviously,
course.
that'll be a good identity. And then do we segue into then doing some sort of photo shoot, headshots,
photo shoots, headshots. I just created a program that I'm going to start rolling out to our agents, which is called Creating Your Wiki Page.
Okay.
Everybody looks up Wikipedia.
Yeah.
And sees, what's going on it. I'm not creating a Wikipedia page for real. I'm saying, what would your Wikipedia page look like? And it's really cool because you're building these things out and you start to create what all this is and how it can work towards real estate. And it went from like a real quick exercise to it took me days to finish, and it's really cool. So I'm looking forward to rolling that out. It's ideas like that, but videos, photos, bio, identifying your market, okay? And that's a huge one. Who do you want to work with? Okay, do you want to work the luxury market? Do you want to work the mid-city market? There's a bunch of different markets you can work, and part of your brand is absolutely going to work towards your market.
Okay. So we've got our bio or our wiki page, that we create. We have our own, photos and videos that we're producing, and then so where do we take that from there? So we have all this stuff. Then how do we get that out into the public?
Well, now we got to create a listing presentation. You need to have a buyer's presentation. Some companies will issue them, and you'll just have to drag and drop a couple photos. If you can't find one or you don't use the one your company uses, you can certainly go to Canva or one of those online sites and build one out yourself. But you want to have something that is very, very unique to you and to your unique selling proposition, meaning what do you bring to the table? Why would I work with you other than somebody else or the other 3 agents who called me yesterday?
Yeah.
And that is, again, it's a unique selling proposition. Everybody's got their own.
Okay. And so when we're saying communicate this brand consistently, or, are we talking about social media? Are we doing, how do we get this message out to the public to showcase
everywhere and anywhere? Again, you should have the big 4, which is Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. Those are the 4 that you should be posting to and active on all the time. If you're not posting to your YouTube channel and not creating YouTube videos, folks, in a couple months or a couple years, we are going to be absolutely obsolete. Okay, and agents who have been in the business for 20 years are going to get lapped by agents who are here for a year or 2 just with their social media presences and putting themselves out there. So it's a constant of posting and putting your message out, but it's also interacting with people, getting on the phone and talking to people, okay, and going out and door knocking and introducing yourself as an agent in your industry, in your local neighborhood. You can do everything here in the office, but nothing here matters until you take it outside and introduce it to the public.
What about a website? Creating a website for yourself?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, your website is a key component, but it also depends on how you work it. Okay, and I've had websites in the past that have done nothing, and really just kind of sat there and just been for somebody to look me up, so to speak. The real website is if you actually have it interacting with your other channels. Okay, is your website linked to your Facebook and your Instagram and all these other sites that once you're putting a message out, it's going across all programs. Now, I'm working with a company right now that's bringing that into my website.
Okay.
That's actually going to, you post on one, it goes to all, and then if they click on it, it brings them back to your website. And that's the idea. You want to find, we hear the capture word all the time, right? Capture leads, put them in a funnel. Okay, how do I do that? Well, you got to drive them someplace, and you have to have some sort of idea on what that's going to look like, right? And by doing that, you really need to sit down with somebody who's done it before. Okay, this is not something you're going to figure out on your own. And if you do, God bless you. Right? I've tried 10 years. I hired a company. A couple $1,000s later, this thing will be up and running, and I'm happy with it. So think about the money that you invest and where you put it, because we can get $29 to death in this industry, or you can spend a couple dollars very, very strategically and place yourself on the map.
Okay. So all of it. So website, just to recap, website, Instagram, Facebook. What about TikTok now is another big one?
TikTok
YouTube.
You can use. YouTube. Another one that I would absolutely tell everybody for, Google business page. If you're not available on a Google business page where somebody can look you up, again, you're irrelevant. And I challenge everybody on this site right now, Google your name. Have you Googled your name?
I have Googled my name. Yeah, there's a lot of different stuff up there. But
you Google your name and figure out what you like and what you don't like.
because that's where your clients are going, right?
Absolutely.
You're going to meet with them. You're going to do a listing, a presentation, and maybe they're comparing to other agents, and then they're going to Google you and see what you've done, what kind of reviews you got. And I think that's another key thing is reviews. When you have these pages like Google or Yelp or whatever, having great reviews, and even on the Facebook, the integration now, like with the Facebook business page and Google with reviews, when you look up reviews, they actually, pile in your Facebook and Google all together.
The thing about the Google business page is that is something, Google is like synonymous with like Xerox now. You Google things. So if somebody's going to Google your name, you want them to get a business page. You don't want them to just Google your name and see information about you. You want a standing business page that says, this is who I am, with pictures. My coach just implemented a video for me that I'm actually going to be doing a video that somebody Googles me, they're going to click on it and they're going to get a video from me thanking them for Googling me. Now, it might be a little freaky, but it also might be really cool where somebody says, this guy knew what was going to happen. I'm already 3 steps ahead of what's happening, and thanking people for taking those steps.
Oh, that's really cool.
It's going to be really cool.
Very cool. Look like we got lost here a little bit.
Be authentic.
Be authentic. So what does authenticity mean when it comes to your branding?
Share your personal stories. What do you do? I know what you do on the weekends. You go to car shows. You go hiking. Right? You go out. You're hanging out. You're doing things. People want to see that. They don't just want to see real estate. They want to know who they're dealing with. And what also that allows us to actually be that authentic person and say, wow, you know what? That was fun. I'm going to post that and be okay with it. Look, some things are fun, probably don't need to be posted. But for the most part, you're authentic in what you're doing and you're putting things out there, and that's what people are gravitating towards. What have you, let me ask you this. In your posting, have you thought, maybe I shouldn't post this, or have you not posted something and wished you had?
Yeah. That happens quite often, actually. Because depending on what I'm doing or where I'm going, but, sometimes, you want to keep certain things private. Maybe it's, what you're doing with your friends, or, maybe with a significant other. Different things like that from time to time. It's like, I don't want to get too personal. And I try to keep things as neutral as possible, because, you just don't know who's looking you up, and you don't want to come off, too conservative or maybe too liberal. I always try and stay somewhere in the middle with my posts.
Conservative, liberal, that's politics. Stay away from that, okay?
Definitely stay away from politics.
Look, nobody cares about what you think. They only care about what you know. And if you're posting things about what you know on social media, Facebook, and different postings, it's very difficult to argue that. When you start posting the I thinks, that's when you really get into your opinions. And again, people as realtors, as consultants, people want our know-how. They want what we know, not our personal opinion on something. It's probably not even relevant in most situations.
And so, I mean, as your brand, so your brand's out there, you're being authentic, you're putting things out there. So how consistent do you need to be relevant? So what, I know agents, they'll like start this stuff and they'll do a little bit, and maybe they'll get a headshot, and maybe they'll post once or do one video. How much posting or how much attention should you give your audience, to be relevant or without being like annoying?
Right.
Because there's some people that'll post 3 or 4 times a day and you're like, this is too much. They're constantly changing their profile picture or whatever, and you're like, okay, this is a little extra.
I'm going to quote Abe Lincoln.
Okay. You're going back. All right.
Dear old Abe. I read a quote a couple weeks ago. He said, if I had 10 hours to chop down a tree, I'd sharpen my axe for 8.
Okay.
Okay? And when you're doing stuff like this, it's getting yourself prepared. Okay? There is equal time needed working on your business as in your business. So getting your headshot together, your website, all your social media channels lined up, your CRM put together. This stuff is absolutely key to your business. And if you think you're going to wait 2 years, 3 years when you have business to put this together, that's when you don't have the time. Okay, and the best thing you can do as a new agent is spend your first 3 to 6 weeks just working on your business, creating everything that your experience, that when somebody's going to come into your website or going to come look and see what you are, they see you as an established agent. Because whether I'm in the business 5 years, 10 years, or 20 years, and you're in the business for a year, we go out on that same appointment, they see us as equals. So the agent with a year has got to get themselves into that experienced looking level. Whether or not you're being coached or not, that's fine. But somebody's going to look you up, they need to know they can trust what you're saying.
Right. So we've got that prep work done. We got everything set. And so how often do we tune in to our audience, to our followers?
At least twice a day.
Twice a day. So like in the morning and night. Would that be like, doing a post or doing a story, or, what would...
Post videos, blogs, reposting interesting articles. NAR puts out the, that instant recognition. Every Thursday they put out that piece that is kind of whatever the news is. They give you a quick recap on it. Reposting stuff like that. There's a bunch of online companies that you can hire that'll do posts for you. I have a company that posts daily to my site. That's just like a cool inside photo picture and a question. It gets interaction. I get on there and I interact with people. It's a game. And the biggest thing that you can do with this stuff is have fun with it. Because if you're having fun, you're interacting, you're enjoying it, that's where you're going to see the real result.
Okay.
And you won't stop.
Okay. Well, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more on that. And I know this is an ongoing process. And we got to regularly evaluate our brand and stay relevant and competitive in this market, right? So what do you think are some key takeaways for everybody in regards to branding and marketing?
Define your brand, okay? Actually sit down and define who it is and what it's going to look like. Define your unique selling proposition. What do you bring to the table, and why would somebody hire you over a competitor? Pay attention to the elements of your design and make sure that it's not too intricate, that if you send it off to a printer or you send it off to something, the logo is going to stay intact. And be authentic and share what you're doing every day, and continuously update your photos. Okay, folks, I know you looked good 25 years ago. Okay, we know you looked great on your wedding day, but what do you look like today is the most important thing, because if you show up with a photo of you 25 years ago and like, hey, this is me, what is that telling your clients already? You'd rather be living in the past than today.
You're not totally honest, you know.
Exactly.
And transparent. Well, good. Well, that's a wrap for today. Thank you for tuning in. We hope you found some value in today's episode. We look forward to having you join us on all of our channels on Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. So, thanks again for tuning in. This is Amir Al-Khayat and
Vance Mizzi, and this is the wrap to episode 19.
All right, one more to 20. So we'll see you next time, guys.
See you soon.